welcome back. I am so excited to play with makeup today, and I had the brilliant idea of only using creams and liquid products today. I've got quite a few creams and liquids in my project pan that I think I'm going to pull out today. I do have to set under my eyes. I have to set the concealer, and I also have to set my entire face with powder just because I'm an oily person and that's who I am, and it helps the longevity of my makeup, and if I'm going to do my makeup, I want it to last. So I did have to cheat a little bit, but this is the look that we created using all of cream and liquid products aside from 2 powders. I had a lot of fun sharing how I use cream products, so I hope you enjoy this video. And if you want to see how I created this look, let's get going. First things first, don't mind my hair. I braided it yesterday and wanted it to be curly, but I slept in it, so this is what it's looking like. So we'll just ignore that for now. But I did go ahead and prime my face. I used my Tarte Smoothing Primer and my NYX Marshmallow Primer. The good news is most of my foundations are actually liquid. Let me rephrase that. All of my foundations are liquid. But today I'm feeling like using this one. This is the Lawless Conceal the Deal foundation. This one is super liquidy. It's even got that thing in it to shake up. Super liquidy. I actually haven't used this one in a while, so it might be a little yellow for me. Touch yellow, but we'll make it work. I actually haven't tried a whole lot from Lawless, but I've heard really good things. So when they came out with the foundation, it was like immediately I needed to go pick it up. And I actually really enjoy this one. I have taken it to Omaha with me, and it works really well in that climate, and I think it works really well in the Colorado climate. And it is supposed to be full coverage, so that makes me happy. You'll have to let me know in the comments below if you've tried this foundation from Lawless. I'd like to hear what your thoughts are about it. Okay, so I do have a newer foundation in me. I've only tried it once, and it's actually pretty new to the market as well, but it's the NYX Bear With Me Concealer Serum. And I figured since we're doing liquids and creams, this would be a good good concealer to use because it is a little more liquidy than your standard concealer. It's also a pump, so I'm just going to take some on the back of my hand like that, and I'm going to apply it with this like smaller but fluffy kabuki brush. And I am going to do things like I normally would, where I apply my concealer one eye at a time and I powder one eye at a time. But it's super liquidy and it feels really lightweight. Like I don't feel like there's a lot on my skin. And it covered up the blueness pretty easily and the redness. Just picked up a little bit on the tip of my sponge. That way when I go in to pat everything in and just blend, I'm not picking up anything I laid down with the brush. But that actually looks really nice. Have you tried this concealer? Holy cow. And then I'm going to set it. I'm going to be using my Pat McGrath Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. One of the YouTubers that I follow, her name is Julia Adams. She loves this for under her eyes. I'm going to use this puff. This is just from Amazon. And I'm going to set my under eye with it. I think that looks pretty good. So I do have this eye completely done for concealer and powder. I'm going to do this side and do my nose real fast, and I'll come back. I know what you're thinking. I said this was going to be a liquid and cream video, and it is. But I'm an oily person, so I do have to set my under eyes. And at the end of all of this, I will actually have to set my face, but it will be over top of all of the cream and liquid products we use. But I do really like that concealer, and for how serum-y it is, it actually felt really nice on the skin. Now we're going to go into bronzer, and this is actually part of my project pan. It is the Cheeks Out Cream Bronzer from Fenty Beauty. This is in the shade Macchiato, and I like to use it on a brush. But I am just going to apply to the cheeks. And I like to press instead of swipe with cream bronzer. That way it blends in a little bit more naturally and it doesn't pick up any of my foundation underneath. Then we're going to put some on the forehead. And I'm just going to pat a little bit on my nose to give it a little bit more shape since I did apply concealer. But look at how pretty that bronzer is. I knew there was a reason I put it in my project pan. This has been a favorite bronzer of mine, and you can tell like it is well loved. There's a good dent in it. And I just stopped using it for a while, and I don't know why, because obviously it's beautiful. For blush, I have two options that I'm kind of going back and forth with. I've got the Soft Pinch Liquid Blush from Rare Beauty. This is also in my project pan, and this is in the shade Bliss. And then I'm also between the Melt Blush Lights, and this is in the shade Honey Thief. And it's just gorgeous. I think I'm going to go with Rare Beauty. I really haven't used this in quite a while, and this one does tend to get a little more use. So I'm going to go with Rare Beauty just because it's in my project pan and I need to use it. And it fits this video very well. Bliss was actually the first shade that I purchased from this collection, or like this formula. And I just put it on the back of my wrist, and I'm going to pick it up with a brush. That way I don't go overboard, because we have all watched somebody apply too much of this blush and it's kind of hard to tone down after a bit. So I'm just going to go softer. But I think this Bliss shade is super pretty. And I totally went overboard. I literally was telling you in the middle of applying this blush that we've all seen people go overboard with it, and guess what I did? I went way overboard with it. Not even on just one cheek, on both cheeks, I went overboard. I'm hoping that when I do set the rest of my face with some more powder, I will be able to like clean up this harsh line on both cheeks. And then for highlight, I actually picked up the Melt Cosmetics Sex Foil highlights, and I haven't tried it actually. Like, I've swatched it on my hand a few times, but never applied it. So it's a liquid. We're gonna play with it today. I'm a little nervous because it kind of looks a little bit too deep for my skin tone. So I just dampened like a baby sponge, and I'm just going to take the slightest amount like on the tip of the brush and press that in. I mean, do we kind of see it? Okay, that side showed up a little bit better. I went over that a little bit more and it ended up picking up the blush. This is for sure a highlighter that I know I like. This is the Cosmetics Moonbeam Cushion Highlight. So it looks like this. So it is definitely liquid. And I am still going to be using my sponge. I'll just take the bottom part of it. Something like that. And I do like this one. I've used this one for bridal makeup and it shows up very nice. But it is pretty natural too. Now I'm going to go back into my normal size sponge and just kind of blend that in. I will have to play with this a little bit more, but for today it wasn't doing it for me, so I went into one that I knew was going to perform the way I expected it to. If you've had troubles with this product before, again, it's the Melt Cosmetics Sex Foils highlight. Let me know what your thoughts are. So I am going to set my face. This is the Urban Decay All Nighter. And yes, I know I did this before setting my face. I wanted to just melt all of the cream products together. I'm going to take my sponge and just press over everything and give everything like one last good blend. And I think the blush actually calmed down quite a bit. I'm happy with that. So now I'm going to go into my Kosas Cloud Set Powder. Don't come at me. This is one of my favorite powders to set my entire face with. I know it's not cream, but man, does it work. And it works very well for oily skin, which is what I have. But it also doesn't look like you lay down powder. But you can tell that your face is set. I always think powders really tone down your bronzer and blush, which is why I really like to use powder bronzers and blushes. One, because my skin is oily and the powders tend to help keep those oils at bay, but two, I feel like they give a little bit more oomph than cream products. But I'm liking how my face is today. I'm going to prime my eyes with the Rare Beauty Eye Primer. For eyeshadow today, I want to use some of my Auric products. I have four of the five Smoke Reflexes. 2 are from their original launch. And then I also picked up the Holiday Palette, which are their 2 more colorful shades. So the first shade is Defiance, which is this more bronzy shade. This more rose gold shade is Temper. This more olive green shade is Entice. And then the cranberry shade is Disrupt. And then they each come with a beautiful glittery topper. You've seen me use the golden topper quite a bit. This is part of the Defiance shade, which is the bronzy shade. The rose gold shade has a really pretty rosy kind of topper. I really enjoy using the Entice topper. It looks kind of white, but it's got a really pretty gold and green reflect in it. So if you're wearing a green shirt, but you've kind of got like a neutral eye look going on, that's really fun to put on top of it to tie in your green shirt. And then Disrupt, I believe, is actually a duochrome. So it looks kind of pink, but it also reflects kind of goldish green. And now I just don't know which color to use. And then this is the Rare Beauty blush that I put on my face. So you can ignore that. These are the 4 Smoke Reflect shades. You know, Defiance is really my favorite shade out of all of them. So I'm going to go into the bronzy color, Defiance. And this is why I'm using them, is because the base is actually cream. And I just go in with the brush, but you honestly don't even have to use a brush. You could totally go in with your fingers. And I am just going to pack it all over the lid. And you know what? I actually want to go into the Disrupt shade as well. This is the cranberry shade that I have not gotten to use. And I'm just going to take it on a smaller brush because I want to put it on my lower lash line. Ooh, that's a really pretty color. And I'm actually going to add a little bit into my crease just because I'm having so much fun with this color. And I actually just took it on the same brush as the Disrupt shade, or as the Defiant shade, because I mean, they're going to mix on my eye anyway, so that's what I went with. But I mean, they're cream, so I'm just using patting motions to blend it out, and it's looking beautiful. That is so much fun because it's kind of like a bronzy shade with kind of a reddish shade, so where they overlap, it's kind of purpley, which is totally up my alley. But I am going to use the topper shade from the Disrupt. I really like the pink and gold reflect in it, and I think it'll be really pretty for both of these colors. And for right now, bring even more pink and purple. But I am going to take like a blank brush and just go along all of the edges, really make sure everything is blended and smoothed out. I will say, if you are nervous to use cream eyeshadow, the Auric Smoke Reflex are so easy to use, and if you go overboard like I did on this eye, you just take a blank brush, blend it out, and it blends out like a typical powder eyeshadow. They're super easy to use. So if you're looking to expand into cream eyeshadow, I would recommend these Auric Smoke Reflexes first. Not to mention, they all come up with a super beautiful shimmer topper for your cream base. My dark eyes with my crazy braid look quite vampy. But I did go ahead and put on my mascara and my brows, so let's finish up the lips real fast. I'm going to go in with my Melt Perfectionist lip pencil. This is in the shade Cinnamon. And I think I'm just going to top it with a light lip gloss. This is from Huda Beauty. It's her Silk Balm, and this is in the shade Blush. It's supposed to be a hydrating, plumping lip balm. And I figured since the eyes are pretty intense, maybe we'll keep the lips kind of calm. That's not really doing much. It's just kind of adding shine. You know, for how pink this is, I thought there would be a little bit more pigment. Maybe we'll try this one. This is the Buxom Full On Lip Plumping Cream in the shade Bellini. Yes, this has enough pigment for me. And I think it goes really well with that cinnamon shade of the lip pencil. Alright, here's our finished look. I took my braid out and, you know, it's kind of curly, kind of not, but whatever. But this is the look. I had a lot of fun. Actually, I needed this today. I had a lot of fun playing with cream makeup, especially these Auric Smoke Reflex. But this is how I do a full look of using only creams and liquid products. Obviously, I had to set my face and my under eyes. I just tend to get oily, so I do have to do that. But aside from those two things, it was all creams and liquids, and that made me really excited, and I had a really good time. I got to use some of my Project Pan products and show you how they work and how beautiful they are. And now you can fully judge me on why I don't use them, because I have no idea. They're beautiful. I would love to know if you are a cream and liquid type of person or if you prefer powders, kind of like I do. But I would love to know what your thoughts are on any of these products, especially the Melt Sex Foil. Does that highlight work for you? Let me know in the comments below. But other than that, that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also, ring the bell and hit all on your notifications and you'll be notified every time I post a video. I'm here on Tuesdays and Fridays, 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.